Hi there! Quick question. Do you remember this? If not, then let me tell you that this is my homemade longboard, which I electrically motorized in a 3-part video series that I created over 3 years ago. But as you can see on its backside, it's actually not the same electrical or mechanical setup from back then. This is actually an improved version 2 of 3 to be specific. And some of its improvements are the following. Strain gauges are mounted inside the boards, so that the receiver control PCB can recognize if the driver falls off. There is a transmitter PCB with lithium-ion charge functionality that is housed inside its own 3D printed enclosure, which sends over the throttle information with an nRF24. The motor adapter is made out of laser-cut aluminum and welded to the axis of the longboards to guarantee a safe mechanical setup. There were lots of other changes as well, but if I would name them all, we would be sitting here all day long. What I'm trying to say is that all my longboard builds so far have been pretty complicated. Which is why in this video I will be repurposing my old longboards and combine it with some off-the-shelf components in order to create a simple version that you can easily build at home. Let's get started! This video is sponsored by JLC PCB, which is a creative PCB company since they won the prize for Outstanding Booth during the Maker Faire Rome 2019. So feel free to upload your Gerber files today and use their affordable service to get your own PCBs. I started this build by removing the old trucks of my longboard deck, as well as the 2 enclosures which I originally used to store the electronics and batteries. What I was left with was just a basic deck with a couple of extra holes through it. So it was time to bring in the first main component of my simple electric longboard builds, which were trucks with attached wheels. Now, while the front wheels are pretty much ordinary longboard wheels, the back wheels are certainly not, because 3 wires come out of them. And after removing a couple of screws from one wheel and pulling the rubber parts off as well as a metal cylinder, we can see that it is actually an outrunner brushless DC motor around which a rubber wheel is placed. And if you got no idea what a BLDC motor is or how to power them, then definitely watch my videos about the subject. Nevertheless, after reassembling the wheel, I hooked ordinary ESCs up to both of them, powered the ESCs with my lab bench power supply, and controlled them alternating with my ESC tester in order to check whether both motors function correctly, which they did. By the way, I got my hub motor kits from Aliexpress for a rather high price point, because the motors can handle a lot of power. But you can get yourself cheaper alternatives which should also function decently. Moving on though, after finding out the most important properties of the motors, which are the kV rating, power rating, wheel diameter and voltage rating, I continued by securing the 2 trucks to my deck with the previously used bolts and nuts. At this point I could use the already connected ESCs to drive the motors, but I wanted something a bit more manually adjustable. That is why I got myself 2 FSESC, which you can get for around $60 each. They can do 50 amps continuously with a peak current of 240 amps, work with 8 to 60 volts, and best of all, besides all the other awesome features, they can utilize the VESC software in order to fine-tune all kinds of important parameters. So, after I soldered one output of an FSESC to a motor in order to test it, I sadly realized that my power supply might not be the best test power source, because not only is it limited to a current of 3 amps, but it can also not store energy when the regenerative braking feature is being used. Now of course we could use a pre-made LiPo battery pack as a suitable replacement, but I rather wanted to use my favorite lithium-ion cell, the INR 18650-25R. The first step was to obviously build a custom battery pack with it. The motor rating states a minimum of 6 cells in series, which equals a nominal voltage of 21.6 volts for the pack. Multiplying this voltage with the kV rating gives us an average RPM of 1620. And by multiplying this value with the parameter and changing units a bit, we get an average speed of around 25 km per hour, which seems acceptable. Of course, you could put more cells in series in order to increase the top speed of your electric longboard. For my battery pack though, I also decided to add a second cell in parallel to each cell in order to increase the capacity to 5 amp hours and the constant current to 40 amps with peaks of up to 200 amps. This theoretical battery pack should be suitable for my DIY electric longboard. So I used parts of an e-bike battery pack, which I showed you how to create in a previous video, and simply welded it to a few more cells in order to create my battery pack. After then double checking that all the voltages were correct, I measured the battery pack's dimensions, created a housing for it in 123D design, 3D printed it with orange PETG filaments, soldered wires to an XT60 connector, which I then glued to the enclosure with 2-component adhesive, along with a 6S balance connector, soldered the power wires to the battery pack as well as all balance wires, and ultimately placed the battery pack inside the enclosure in order to secure it with a bit of hot glue and closing it all up with the lids and 4 screws. Next, I charged up the battery pack with a suitable charger and then finally powered the FSESC and connected its mini USB port to my computer. After starting the VESC software, I connected to the FSESC, updated it and used the motor setup wizard in order to tune the FSESC software parameters to the hardware parameters given by the motor. So after a bit of motor movement, the motor settings were basically in place. And as soon as I set the cutoff voltages for the battery pack, which is quite important to not damage it, we can use the keyboard to rotate the motor. Brilliant! But of course, we cannot use this keyboard while riding the longboard, which is why I got myself this electric skateboard remote control. Not only can you get it for cheap, but after charging it up through a micro USB port, it turned out to be easily usable as well. For that, I inserted the binding adapter into the binding channel of the receiver and pushed the FSESC RC input header into the channel 1 male header. Then I simply had to hold the binding button on the remote and turn it on. And just like that, both devices are paired. Now by starting the input setup wizard and playing around with the throttle control, we can not only see that the FSESC receives the data signal without a problem, but we can also fine-tune the software parameters according to it. And just like that, my simple electric longboard setup was complete. But of course, before moving forward, I had to connect and configure the second FSESC as well. What I did next was designing an enclosure for the FSESCs, which I of course 3D printed with PETG filament as well. Afterwards, I drilled holes for two 30mm fans, which I secured left and right next to the FSESCs and which get powered by a small 12V buck converter. This fan cooling system will hopefully keep the MOSFETs cool during operation. After then using M3 bolts and spacers to secure the two FSESCs in place, drilling a few holes for all the wires, securing the enclosure to the deck with two M4 bolts and nuts, and also adding an 80 amp resettable fuse to the deck for obvious safety reasons, it was finally time for the wiring, which I will not explain in full detail here, since it is pretty straightforward and you can find more information about it as always in the video description. Nevertheless, the last step was to secure the battery pack to the deck with Velcro tape, connecting it to the electronics and flipping the main power switch, aka the fuse. Now the board seems to work just fine, which means it was time to head outside, activate my GPS tracker app and go for a test ride. Now what I can say after completely emptying the battery pack is that this is the best electric skateboard / longboard I ever used. It is responsive, powerful and in my opinion quite safe to ride, since it accelerates and decelerates softly if you want to. And by checking the tracker app, the board seems to come with a top speed of around 30 km per hour and a range of around 7 km. So all in all, I'm very happy with my simple electric longboard design. And I hope that this video inspires you to maybe even create something similar on your own. The best feature about this board though is that the battery pack is easily swappable, which means you can easily hook up a bigger battery pack. But that is a subject for another video. Until then, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and hitting the notification bell. Stay creative and I will see you next time!